Hello! It is Monday. I am here. I just saw that come through, Kaz. So excited to have you. The classroom over there is pretty empty right now because I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students over on the other site that I have to move over. I just haven't done that yet. Am I hearable? Can you hear me? I know you can see me. I think you can see me. I don't know what's going on with the stream health, but it does seem pretty shaky. I think it's okay though. I think we're okay. Yay! Beautiful. Wonderful. So happy to see you all. I was a little bit disorganized this afternoon and could not find a candle, which I know is shocking. It's me we're talking about. But I was looking for something very specific, our usual candle holder, and I couldn't find it. Like anywhere. I usually put it over here when I am working so that I can avoid things like spraying workable fixative on it. So this will have to do for today because it's all I've got, and I will remedy this situation before we meet again next week. So good to see you all. A couple of notes. There is a 40% discount on the Journal Jam Weekend Workshop, which is a super fun weekend workshop, all pre-recorded for you for your enjoyment, where we make the deck of cards that I use for Journal Jam, and then we do a jam or two. So it's super fun. I just saw it a purchase come through with the 40% off discount. It's less than $40 when you use the coupon code. It's a wonderful class. I'm very excited to have moved it over to my new network. And for those of you who are signing up for it on the new network, would you please do me a favor and email me if there are any errors? I am just getting used to the new place. I'm just now figuring it out. It is coming together. On the one hand, it's super simple, but on the other hand, it is missing a lot of the sort of elements that I'm used to having on my old network. For those of you who are wondering, I would have stayed with the network that I was using for forever, but they actually discontinued the software. So it is no longer going to be supported, which means that it could like blow up at any second. Not good, not good. So I'm moving everything over to Podia. And for those of you who are wondering what will happen to your existing classes, hey, I'm going to move them over, I promise. I will get to it eventually. Either I will hire someone to do that for me, or I will do it myself in my so-called supposed downtime. Not sure what that is, but we'll see. I did take a week off though after our last live, which was the pop-up book for spooky season, which is now closed obviously because that class is finished. What a blast we had. I think we had 64 students in that class. It was amazing. Gray Feather, I love my wind chimes. I find them so incredibly enchanting. I have decided that I want to become a wind chime collector. I actually have 2 sets right now in the same little tree out there. I know that winter is coming and I should probably take them down, but the sound of them is just so it enchants my ordinary everyday life. So I love them. I love them. I love them. If you guys scroll up, you'll see that there's a link to Dropbox for the Journal 52 for this week, which is what I'll be referring to in our just little visit as we begin our week together. And then we're going to move into a Journal Jam edition of Prayers to the Moon, which is going to be so super fun. I'm also really sort of geeking out about the fact that I wrote in this week's Journal 52 about, you know, the risk of letting some things go in order to make space for something else. And then Journal Jam, I feel, is one of those things that just makes all the space for the unexpected and the spontaneous. So it's perfect for this week. But I did want to just get us started by talking a little bit about Journal 52. So I really had to flip a coin when I put together this month's Journal 52. am I going to call it what it is, which is death, or am I going to call it transform? And I called it transform because I don't want to scare the poop out of everybody. But I really do mean, by transform, I really do mean death, which is a transformation. And it's a difficult topic for many people to talk about, mostly because we're kind of conditioned to gloss it over and not think about it. And there's a lot of toxic positivity in our culture right now where, you're not even allowed to grieve for an appropriate amount of time um, after the loss of something, even maybe the loss of something that's not good for you. Grieving is not sort of welcome in many spaces, but of course it's welcome in mine. If you know me at all, you know I have been in a state of finally easing but protracted grief for quite some time, and I really needed to find safe spaces to be with that. And what I've learned over this period of incredible transformation is that there are things that we must die to or let go of, that and in doing so it will make room for something new, as scary as that sounds. The thing is if the status quo isn't working, it isn't working, and staying with what isn't working is kind of a form of self-abandonment that I'm no longer willing to practice. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what I mean in Journal 52 when I talk about letting go or release or death in order to make space for something new. In therapy this past week, my therapist and I were talking about adrenal fatigue slash failure. I probably have it. And so she was asking me some questions about how I occupy my time, and made some very powerful suggestions. And I say suggestions because my therapist would never tell me what to do, but she will make suggestions and offer information that I might find useful and that I have the right to pick and choose from anyway. She was like, I really think that it might be a good idea for you not to watch psychological thrillers, serial killer documentaries, live trials, behavior analysts, anything about psychopaths or narcissists or any of that stuff. And including, like, the Anne Rice audiobooks and TV series and all of that stuff. And I like, oh my God, who am I if I don't have those things, right? But letting them go, even if only temporarily, we'll let that sort of go dormant for a while, can make space for other things. For example, I have fired up Headspace, which is a meditation app on my iPhone, and I'm doing the Headspace 365, which is basically a course, a year-long course, an immersion in meditation. It wasn't, I'm going to give up that and pick up this. It just happened naturally. It just happened naturally. I was bored. I was really tempted to do my usual routine of watching a serial killer documentary or something really horrible for my nervous system. And I started talking to Gigi about, like, like, what do you do when you're in the boredom, when you're in the ennui and you're alone with your thoughts? And he recommended Headspace. So I'm trying it. So that just happened naturally. Another example is, some of you may know that I gave up Book of Days. I'm retiring it after 10 years. It's over at the end of December. That's it. BOD is no more. That was incredibly risky. It stands to cut my income in half, but I needed to do that in order to make space for what comes next. And I'm already having dreams about this novel that I'm supposed to write. And when I say dreams, I don't mean like daydreams. I mean, like, I'm in the dream when I'm sleeping and I'm writing this novel. So it's a thing that's supposed to happen. And there's no way that I could have done that if not for the giving up something that took up so much of my bandwidth, both emotional and physical and mental. Dorothy, we do see you. We see your chat, so something worked there. Dorothy's saying she can't chat, but we can see you chatting. So those are some examples of, like, releasing a thing, letting go of a thing, in order to make space for something new. And this is the time of year really for that for me. This is the spooky season. While it officially ends, today is astrological Samhain, also sometimes known as Orthodox Samhain. It's it's also a season for me. So I go into this liminal space from Halloween on October 31st. It actually starts somewhere around fall equinox, depending on the weather. And then it takes me right through until winter solstice on the 22nd of December this year. So I will stay with spooky season for as long as I can because it's my favorite. But in this liminal place, I really do address what needs to die so that something might be reborn. And it's, again, it's not a common conversation to be having on the socials. Most people like to avoid discussion of religion, death, and taxes, but I'm all about all those things except for the taxes. So I have no problem discussing those matters. Um, Something much, much deeper than that in terms of the what must die so that something else might live is being a trauma survivor, and the kind of trauma that I experienced kind of instilled in me a drive toward self-annihilation. This is a thing that often happens with children of narcissists, where we really do get the message that we should not be here, um, and that we're not wanted. We're truly not wanted. And so that can instill in us this sort of drive toward self-annihilation, and also shrinking and invisibility and not wanting to take up space. And all of those things are trauma responses that need to die. I need to kill them with fire. They are in the way of my living my best life. So while I don't want to kill parts of myself, I do want to work um, to release, to really eradicate this drive for self-annihilation and this belief that I don't belong here, that I shouldn't be here. That's a lie. It is a lie. I belong here. I want to live. I want to be here on the planet, and I want to enjoy it. So that's another thing that must die in order for something to be reborn. So what must die? That abused child that I was, I must leave her behind. Um, or fully integrate her. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, but I'm working on it so that I may grow into the woman that I'm meant to be, who I suspect is pretty fantastic. That's my suspicion. But I'll let you all be the judge of that because, that's the way those things work. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Thankfully, I do have a little votive holder here. So when I light this tea light, I can pop it in here. Pretty little gold votive holder, no candle in it, of course. So we're not really going to do a whole lot in the realm of an exercise today. I just want to get us thinking about what needs to be released so that something new can come in. The status quo, especially after the pandemic, is going to be really easy to fall back on. Please put a 1 in the chat if you're struggling with getting moving, even though, we are free now to, depending on how safe you feel out in the world, to start doing stuff again. How are you feeling like you're not quite sure how to get moving? Are you feeling a bit of paralysis? Are you experiencing that status quo as being so comfortable and not knowing quite how to shift out of it and into the new thing that we could be engaging and experiencing right now? Because that's where I'm at. Um, I bought myself a Peloton and got on it twice, and that's it. And it's something I really want to do because I want to feel strong, right? But the default position of crackers and cheese in the nest with the serial killer documentaries is really keeping me stuck. And so it's time to start moving in the direction of my desires. um, it's good to know that I'm not alone. Y'all are putting your 1s in the chat. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So maybe just think about that. What needs to be released in order that new things may come in? And those can be anything ranging from the smallest thing to the biggest thing. Old ideas about yourself that are no longer true, relationships that are no longer working, um, resistance to creative practice, I don't know, McDonald's double cheeseburger or whatever it is that I crave on the regular. Not because I'm weight conscious, I'm not even remotely weight conscious, but I am aware that it's garbage that I'm putting into my body, right? My body likes Greek salad better than that. But for some reason, sometimes I get that craving. Too much binge watching, not enough creative practice. There's a lot that I can start to move towards. That being said, I'm going to light this candle, and in lighting this candle, what I'm asking for is illumination on how to do this gently. I am a boot camp person. If you've known me at all, you know I like immersions. I like getting to it. I like slaying the list. But all of that is inappropriate when you are in a healing place, when you need healing. So how do we do that? Gently, 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 sweetly, as though we are adorable little puppies that need firm but gentle and loving redirection. How do we do that? That's what I'm going to be focusing on. So the Journal 52 documentation that went out included some thoughts on this, and also um, a journaling prompt. You know, what do you need to release in order to make space for something new? That is in there if you want to engage that. We are not going to do the journaling today. We are going to get into, excuse me, a journal jam, because CARLSON is here. It is the journal jam um, edition of Prayers to the Moon. I love these. I'm very excited. So I'm going to change my camera angle here so that you guys can see what I'm doing down here on my painty surface. How's the view? Is that good, you guys? Don't look at my nails. Don't look at my nails. I did clean them. It never seems to matter. It just doesn't matter unless I have nail polish on. They always look awful. Can you guys still hear me and see what's going on here? Perfect. You guys, thank you so much for the super chats. I really do receive those as hugs. Those are amazing. My daughter's here. Hi, Tessa. Okay, so Journal Jam. So if you guys look in the description, you're going to see a link to this workshop, which is a weekend workshop. We go through all sorts of fun mixed media applications in order to get this deck created. I'm sorry about my voice, guys. It's going to go in and out. I've been having terrible allergies. I've actually had to start using chloroseptic because my throat is so sensitive and itching so much from the um, allergies that if I cough a certain way, it triggers my gag reflex. So I've been using chloroseptic to avoid, you know, having the vomits from coughing from my allergies. It's really awful. But my voice is a little bit wrecked because of all this, so I do apologize. So workshop. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today. Okay, center yourself, my darling. Journal Jam workshop is linked below with a coupon code for 40% off. Works out to be less than 40 USD for an entire weekend. Pre-recorded, instant access, forever access, everything downloadable there for you to enjoy whenever you have a moment. It was a super fun class, and in it you're going to learn a bunch of different techniques, including lettering. We go through a lot of different fonts in this workshop, which you can then carry that over into your journal practice. And then we make the cards, and then we do a couple of jams as well. So it was a super fun class. Thought I'd throw a discount at you for that. It's over on my new teaching network, so don't be confused when you get over there and it doesn't look the same as the other places where you've been taking classes. So basically these are just prompts, and what we do during a jam is we pull the prompts and we do what they say. Sometimes we cheat because it's our journal and we get to do whatever we want. One of the cards, several of the cards are numbered. The one that I pull out right at the beginning is a colors card. If I'm feeling brave, which I am not always, I will roll. So that's why we have a dice here. There's a geometric shape one. There's a natural objects one. There's a botanicals one. And there will be new ones coming up in the next Journal Jam weekend workshop that I do. The reason that I'm going to do the Journal Jam weekend workshop again is because it's really fun to do live. They're really super fun to do live. So we will do a round 2 of the Journal Jam weekend workshop, so that those of you who missed the first round live can actually come to a live, because lives are fun. We love lives. So basically what we do during a journal jam is we shuffle the cards, we pull the prompts, we do what they say. Carol will track the prompts for us. And will let us know, you know, this is prompt 1, this is what the prompt was, and this is what Effy did. And to the best of her ability, she will tell you what supply I'm using and what I'm doing with it. There will come a point during any jam where I have an impulse. Those will be marked as an impulse. So it will be like prompt 1 is this. Effy had an impulse, so it will be 1A is an impulse. And then eventually through the course of the jam, we'll get to the point where I am tending. Tending is when, okay, I know what this is supposed to be. I'm not pulling prompts anymore, and I'm just making it work now. And those are marked alphabetically. Once the jam is done, Carol will send me all of the prompts, and then I will upload the prompts to the description here on YouTube's. And then, of course, it goes to live over on Patreon as well for, thank you, Carol. Carol corrected me on that. It's 1.1 and then alphabet for tending. Perfect. There is no workshop on Journal 52. The workshop is Journal Jam Weekend Workshop, Mel. And there's a link to it, and the discount code is PTTM Love, all caps. But it is below. It's in the description below. I know because I put it there, and someone else found it. I think Kaz found it already. So let's get going because we don't want to keep Carol. Carol has a life. Everyone, please, all the thank yous to Carol. All the thank yous to Carol for tracking prompts. She has just been an absolute boon. She's been amazing. I love her, and so do the rest of us. So let us pull our first prompt and see what we are doing. Well, we're going to save that for later, right? Cover something up. We're just going to save that because that doesn't make any sense. There's nothing to cover over unless I put black gesso on here, which, I mean, I could do that, but I'm not feeling that. So cover something up. If we had done our scribble journaling, this would have been perfect, but we didn't today because I wanted to get into the jam. So spirals, so that works for me. So let's do spirals. Let's throw this back in the deck and we're going to ignore it. If it's meant to be, it will come back. So spirals, I'm actually going to use my Primrosia markers. And I think I'm just going to pick a color that is like appealing to me. Here, let me roll since I'm so uninspired. 6 is orange, not a color I would have chosen. That's why journal gems are so much fun. Let's go with this orange. Fluorescent orange, anyone? Why not, right? So I'm going to do spirals all over, and we're going to just fill the page with these spirals, because why not? So did everyone have a good spooky season? Did you go to parties? Did you have lots of trick-or-treaters? If you're a witchy woo-woo one like me, did you do any good ritual? My spooky season students and my moonshine students all did the most amazing ritual. I'm going to talk about it when we go to wrap up because I think there's a project that's coming out of it that I'm really excited about. So I haven't quite put it together in my head how it's going to work. So I might need to brainstorm a little bit with you loves. I want more color on this paper. So impulse is to fill in these spirals with a different color of orange so that there's lots of orange on here. Not a color I would generally choose. This is kind of a pinky orange. I'm not mad about it. It works for me. I also took about 2 hits too many off of my Ventolin this morning because of the allergies. So that's what's happening. I am living proof that you can have all kinds of excuses why you wouldn't do art and do it anyway. I'm blind in one eye, practically blind in the other. Shaky, shaky, shaky hands. All of the reasons not to do a creative practice, and yet here I am. And you know what? I think I make darn pretty work too. I love some of my paintings. Not all of them. That would be very unusual, I think, if we loved every single thing we created. But I always love the process. I took a cradle board, which is like it's like a substrate, right? Like a wood canvas, basically. And I used that as my table topper. And we did ritual to call in our ancestors and beloved dead. And I broke open a pomegranate on the cradle board and spilled a bunch of sumo ink on it, and then inscribed the names of all of our beloved dead as we told stories about them on parchment, burned the names as prayers, as offerings, and then the table topper just got smeared, like this wood board got smeared with all of the ink and the pomegranate juice, and then I'm going to be painting over that. It was amazing. No, Cindy, these are water reactive. They're not as great as Tombows for that. Tombow markers do tend to be a lot more movable. Like, let me show you. Might as well take advantage of this teaching moment here. Do I have an orange Tombow? Of course I don't. But I have a pink one. If Amanda Fall were here, she'd be absolutely thrilled. So this pink, we'll just call this an impulse, Carol. Added some pink. Look at how happy this is. This is happy. These move much better with water than the Primrosia do, but the Primrosia I like because there's a rainbow of colors. It's inexpensive. The box is adorable, and it isn't precious, which is perfect for jamming or Precious the Moon, because then I'm not worried about, you know, using expensive supplies, etc. So I want something relatively scrubby here so I can show you this. So these kind of activate like this. They're not great, right? This is also on plain paper. They activate much better on gesso. But the Tombow activates much, much more smoothly. Can you see the difference? Once you're done activating Tombow, you can hardly even tell that it was a marker. It looks like watercolors. Especially if it's on watercolor paper. This is untreated cardstock. It's not going to take the, oh, there we go. That's what we can do. It's not going to take the mediums the way that watercolor paper would. Cover something up was our very first prompt. We're going to make it prompt 2. And I'm going to get my gesso. Yay, this is all working out. It's all working out. And to those of you who are wondering what those fun stickers are, those are YouTube's way of allowing you to tip me. My tip jar is also listed below if you are so inclined to help me pay my rent and my internet. I appreciate you. Let me see here. I want something kind of scrubby. See, all my good brushes are in the wash. And by in the wash, I mean in a bucket soaking. I do not want to get gesso on this poncho, which was a gift from Sarah Trump, my platonic life partner. Yeah, no, this one, I feel like this one's good. All right. Cover something up. So what I'm going to do is, was that clear gesso? Rude. I got the wrong bottle. That's okay. Throw some white in there. I'm going to throw some white gesso on here. And we're not going to completely cover up these spirals, but we're gonna, ooh, that's pretty opaque. Let me take some of that off there. I do want that to be kind of a misty background. And this is going to help us with the rest of the jam because it'll create a ground that we can work on that's not just this plain cardstock that does not take mediums all that great. But of course, we're also going to need to do some heat gun action. So you can see that this marker does activate. It's tinted. We have this beautiful coral going on here as a result of the mixture of the pink and the orange. I think I'm going to blot yeah, I like the texture that that gives me. It also transferred some cat hair to the piece, so we've got our cat magic for the day. Cat magic has to happen. Look, there. There. Good Lord. All right, so let's give this, let's pull another prompt so that you guys can move on when you're ready. And I will do some heat gunning. Stamp. All right, perfect. Let us dry this, and then we shall stampy, 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 stamp. I actually have a homemade stamp I think I might want to use on this. Jen says cat magic is part of everything I do. Same. Also a lot of dog magic going on here, but that's the kind that has me taking so much of my puffer. I am so allergic to my girl Salem. Look at this. Look at it already. Carol, you're hilarious. I love you. I did, though. It's true. No lies detected. That's already dry. Wicked. This is going so well. Okay, I have a, oh yes, here it is. This is a homemade stamp that I carved. I think I'm going to use that in this piece. Stamp requires ink pad. So this was just a random shape that I made. With a crescent moon in it. Looks kind of like a rose, I guess. And a moon. I think I might need to re-ink my inker. Oh no! I am most decidedly out of archival re-inker. It's okay, I don't mind these pale impressions. These pale impressions are actually quite nice. one of the reasons that this stamp is not giving the greatest impression is because we do have clear gesso on here, which is very toothy. So it is going to resist the stamp a little bit. Let's do this. That. So random, me likey. I like these stamps because you can grip them like this, and then you can just roll in the part you want, and without stamping the part you don't. Super fun. Just gonna go to freaking town with the stamp. Some more of this. There we go. Shall we call that done? We'll call that a day. All right. Nope, missed a spot. And I know it. I missed a spot because my eye went right to it. My eye was like, excuse me, miss. Needs more stamp. All right. Pull prompt. Scrapey tooly thingy. Okay, I am going to use a, if I can find one. Just a gift card. Or this is, what is this? This is my old fishing license. Back when that was the thing I did. So I've got some teal from Golden. We're just going to go in with that. That is quite opaque, which is nice, because it's going to create some rest spots for the eye where there's a little less chaos going on. I mean, chaos is good. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm practically a chaos magician. But I like to give your eye a rest as you're looking at a piece like this. So we're going to push back some of the stamping. I'm also creating kind of a color field here where it just sort of goes like right across the page. That's really dynamic and interesting to look at. Some here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's doing it for me. So that was Scrapey Tooly thingy. I just used a gift card and some teal paint. And I will dry that, and then we will stencil, apparently, according to the Journal Jam gods. That shouldn't take too long. No, it didn't. It, in fact, did not take too long. The old stencil collection. This is an embarrassment of riches. I have a real problem. Ooh, yes, let's do that. I don't know why. I am obeying every impulse. That is what is happening. Putting that drawer back. It's a bit more of a chore than I expected. Carbon black. Where would you be if you were a bottle of carbon black paint? There, that's where you are. Do I have a Deerfoot? Probably not, eh? They're probably all in the... They're all in the sink or in the tub. Oh, ta-da! I knew I had one of these somewhere. So I'm just going to use a makeup sponge, and I'm going to do some random alphabet stenciling because that's the impulse that I'm having. That looks super good. That's a bit messy. I don't care to care. W, why not? All right, let's give that a dry. Plop that in some water. I keep forgetting to plunk these into water, so I have like $15 QOR makeup sponges that I would never use on my face. All cut up, and then they dry out, and it's a shame. Next prompt. We already did that. What if we did? Ooh. Okay. We're going to do white over the black, and we're going to just slightly offset it. Of course, now I don't have a makeup sponge because I just dunked it into water. See, that's why I don't dunk them into water, in case I need to use them again. That's how that happens. There, I have another one. Oh, it's a mess. Oh, wow. We shall do our best to do... Oh, will this work? Maybe this works. Here's a magic sponge. I'm just going to cut it so I have a good, clean working surface. All right. So what I'm going to do is stencil in white and just slightly offset the stenciling. So I'm going to line it up first and then just slightly like that. So this is going to cover up most of the black, but not all of it. And there's some teal in there because my palette is a mess and we just do not care to care. I do not care to care today. That is the way it is. This will create a really cool drop shadow effect if I'm lucky. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Line that up. Drop it a bit. I really like how this looks. It looks much less stark than it was looking. It was kind of reading army barracks, which is not what I was going for. Yes. Yes. Orgasm. All right, pull a prompt. Circles. I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling this. You have so many circles already in here. What if we did Liquitex ink? This is the muted turquoise. We'll do circles like this. That was more of a spiral, but that's okay. It's still a circle. We're still calling it a circle. I have a water bottle somewhere, don't I? Hello? Where is my water bottle? No? I really should have cleaned the studio after my week off or during my week off, but you know, I did not. There it is, right in front of my face as usual. So impulse is to spray that ink. That is just maddeningly gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna tip that one more time. I kind of want more action up in this corner. There we go. Do I want to blot? I think a little bit of blotting would not go astray here. Just a bit though. I don't want to blot too much. I don't want to lose all this luscious saturation. This is gorgeous. Kind of like here. Yeah. Just bring back sort of the circle idea. That's going to take a while to dry, and we're going to move into tending. That was playful. I enjoyed that. sure this is dry. I just really want this to have a more circular shape here. So I'm just adding another layer of the ink. And then I'm gonna drip that without spraying this time. Just so I have a little bit more control. Looks like I'm gonna need to train this to drip. So to train it, you just put a little bit of water wherever you want it to drip. All right. Just gonna very gently. Yeah. Just for the sake of my incredible lack of patience, I am blotting up puddles. I do. Looks like kind of like an angry guy with a mustache. Really important that this layer is dry. If you're going to be using your pens, which I'm tempted to, I'm feeling like I want a white Costa pen in play here. So just making sure that that's dry. So tending, so we're moving right into white paint pen. Is this a bullet? I kind of want to find one. That one is not fine tipped enough for me for now. That one is new. I don't really want a new one. Here. These Arteza ones are pretty good too. And it's all ready to go. Or not. One of these must work. Disaster! Just kidding. My malfunctioning supplies have made my mind up for me, and I'm just going to use this bullet tip. So I want some contrast in here, so I'm going to go in the dark area. And I want this to be quite dynamic looking, so I'm actually going to pull, I think of these as stitches. I don't know why. It's just what comes to mind whenever I see that particular shape. Let's post them this way. And then I want some silver paint in here because that's just what this is calling for at the moment. Sorry, little guy. You gotta go. So that was the Liquitex Professional Iridescent Silver. Just doing some mark making with the brush. Good enough. Okay, while that's drying, I'm just gonna look for a sentiment. Perfect. So this says, not all who wander are lost. Perfect for me for right now. In this liminal, in this space where I really don't know what's next. I mean, I know for sure I'm doing moonshine. I know for sure I'm going to do a whackload of weekend workshops next year, like just a ton, because it's where I'm living and breathing right now. I just really, really love doing them. But BOD is gone, and that was half my income, and I'm not sure where to go next with my business. So I'm wandering, but I'm not lost. Oh, this is going to give me a really hard time. I need a studio boy. Okay, let's give this a quick dry. And this is sticky, but it's not, I will not trust these, right, to actually stay put. So I will use some medium. And I'm cutting them so that each circle can get a couple of words. Just a good little brush for this. This gel medium I'm using is Gloss Gel from TriArt. Why are you being so difficult, you little bugger? There. Just putting some of this gloss gel on the inside of the circle as well, so that the circles all have the same finish. So there's not just this gluey patch. I do not like that. You could just gloss gel the whole entire thing too. but that's, you know, if you have an area that you're working in, you can just gloss gel that. And then you'll have this intentional looking glossy area instead of this gluey thing that happens when you glue down. Whoops. Come on. There we go. Gonna give that a quick dry. I love this. I love this piece. This is rocking my socks. Got this white paint, white Uniball Signo. Just gonna do a little of this action, just because I like the look of it. That gel medium could have been a little bit drier, but it's okay. I'll just make sure that I scribble with this pen to make sure that it's not all gucked up in there. Hey, and if we're lost, we are lost together. And I'm going to give that a layer of Krylon low odor gloss to finish. Thank you for the super chat, Leanne. That is awesome of you. So now this will be protected. The white paint pen, the white pen won't move, and it'll have a beautiful glossy finish. Now I will come into this with wax, but not today, because I don't want us all sitting here while I dry low odor gloss. Basically what I do is, once this is dry, I continue to heat it with my heat gun, and I rub it with a beeswax chunk, and then I buff it with a soft cloth, and that just seals the spread entirely. Sometimes I will wait to do that because some of my paintings want to be mounted, and you can't mount it once it's waxed because your gel medium won't work. You'd have to put it in resin or something for that to work, and I don't want to bother with that. I don't think this one wants to be mounted, but we'll see. This could be a really fun piece in a studio, or in like a study corner or reading corner, because you know, if you're reading, you're definitely wandering in somebody else's head, right? So not all who wander are lost. I actually want to get this as a tattoo, except that I've sort of changed up the words. I want it to be still wandering, and then the semicolon, not lost. That's how I want to do it, and I will get that done at some point. So that's today. Journal Jam edition of Prayers to the Moon. The Journal Jam workshop is linked below with a coupon code for 40% off for those of you who would like to come and make this deck with me, so that you can join in on Journal Jams with your very own Journal Jam deck. Tip jar is below if you like what I do, but you prefer not to give your money to YouTube's. I completely understand. Use the tip jar. All proceeds from the tip jar go to me, except for the usual tiny fee that PayPal charges. Our bundles for good are up for grabs until today at midnight. I've got the link down there for that as well. And that's it. Yeah. Love you lots, and thank you so much for being here. This one will stay up as all the Journal Jam ones do. Usually we take the streams down after 24 to 48 hours and they move over to Patreon, but these ones stay up. I have a booger. Of course I do. We are so slick and professional over here, I'm telling you. It's the allergies. What can I tell you? All right. I love you guys. Everything you need to know is below in the description. I will be back next week with a regular edition of Prayers to the Moon. Have no idea what we're going to be doing because all of these things come flying out of my heart, soul, and fingers as I'm writing content. Who knows what it will be? It will be something, hopefully, that will be of service to you. Sending you all my love. I'll see you in all of our places. Bye.